most famous physical therapist on the internet.
Hi, folks. I'm Bob Shaw, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
We are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course,
wow,
Bob.
Little dance there, Brad. Today we're going to talk about the best self-treatment for a groin pull, stretches, exercises, and massage. And this is an updated video. We did this one before.
Yep.
And we've learned a few things since then.
And it was very popular. So it's kind of on popular demand. We thought we should update the new exercises and treatments.
By the way, if you're new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. Also, go to bobandbrad.com. We're always giving something away. We're going to show you what we're giving away in just a moment.
Oh, little surprise.
It's a nice gift.
It is.
Also, go to Facebook. It'll be pinned at the top of the page, the contest that is. Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok if you want a 60-second version of our program.
Well done, Bob. It sounded like you did that before.
Yeah, a few times.
Outstanding.
Times.
So we're talking about the groin pull, the groin strain. Pretty common. Not as common as the hamstrings, I don't think, but pretty common. So let's talk about what is the groin muscle. Well, you know, I was surprised at this, Bob, because I thought I better know my details. I looked it up, and technically the groin muscle, at least from my source, said abdominal muscles, hip flexor, the iliopsoas, and the adductor muscles of the hip. It's like,
now, I would have more commonly expected, and I think it is more commonly, the hip adductor muscles. That's the muscle that brings the leg into each other.
Right. It pulls in. It's used a lot for when you do lateral motions.
Or like a soccer movement, kick like that, right?
Exactly right. So we're going to focus on those. We're going to forget about the abdominal as well as iliopsoas. The hip flexor. And we're going to use Sam once again. How you doing? It's been a while. Yeah, he feels a little neglected, but here we are. You're back. So we're going to look at Sam's groin muscles we have. Now there's 5 or 6 groin muscles. I found 6. Bob was showing 5. We're not going to worry about it because they all are in a similar location. If you pull one, it really doesn't matter. The treatment is similar, as you'll see when we get into the treatment. You don't need to find
out what specific muscle you pull.
You don't, but it is nice to know the general location. It's from the pelvis, and they connect down to the femur at a little bit different locations. But here we have a green kinesio tape to
and see how it stretches when you bring the leg out.
Yep.
And then it's more on slack once you bring the leg in.
But it's still active when you're moving this way and this way as far as stabilizing the hip joint.
Sure.
It's the critical group of muscles for all kinds of movements, but mostly side to side. So if you tear or strain this muscle, like here we've got, now you probably can't see this, but let's say we got a little, whoa.
That's a major. That's a surgery.
Right. While we still have one fiber left in that muscle, that would probably be a surgery. But we're talking micro tears, where that's a typical strain, but they can be very painful. I've strained my groin muscle a number of times. Yeah, and it's not fun. But usually you can get through it in a matter of, a couple weeks, depending on how bad it is.
That's one I've avoided, Brad. That's a few I didn't have so far.
Oh, you haven't? Huh?
No.
Well, let's pull Sam away, and I'll show you with some of the wonderful techniques to get through a groin strain and get through it quickly. The first thing is, how can you self-test it? First of all, with activities, particularly moving sideways, or if you try to drag your foot on the ground and pull it here for some resistance, it hurts.
Yeah.
And it hurts in here. Okay. The other one is if you palpate or you push into those muscles, usually you can find a tender spot. And that's
going to be the inner thigh.
Right. And that's the spot where the micro tears of the muscle fibers has occurred. And then another one, if you do want to do a quick muscle test in a seated position, you just take a squishy ball, put it between your knees. You can put your fist between your knees. A ball works a little better. And squeeze like this. Now, that may not hurt, but if you go down and do it in a lying position and work some different muscle fibers, you squeeze. If that creates pain, it's a groin muscle. So you confirm that. Now, if I'm going to stay down here, Bob, because I'm going to do some of these exercises down here. Again, if you've got a bad groin pull and it hurts, you got to give it some rest. Don't start stretching it and strengthening exercises when it's really flared up and irritating. You need to rest it, get a cold pack on there, watch a little TV, watch our YouTube videos on how to get stronger, faster, and pain-free. That's what you're doing right now. So the next thing is you may do that for 1 to 3 days, allow it to heal. When you can start walking and it's not making you limp anymore, then it's probably time to work the muscles and get the scar tissue that's been forming while healing with cross friction massage.
Cross fiber friction massage, and actually, yeah, it's going to definitely get more blood flow to it. And
Right.
It's going to help it heal quicker.
So I'll demonstrate here, and I would do this either laying in a bed. You could do it on the floor like this.
You were doing so well, Brad. It's lying in bed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to do it right here like this so you can get a good view. The fibers go vertically in this position. I'm going to get into that muscle. You might get over that sore spot and get in deep, and you're going to work it. Now, after about 20 to 30 seconds, it might be painful initially, but as long as the pain reduces after 20 to 30 seconds and feels better, you continue to do cross friction massage on that spot, until your fingers get
That's
tired.
kind of the gold standard sign is
Yeah.
that if you start massaging it and it hurts, but like Brad said, after 20, 30 seconds, it starts to dissipate, then you're golden.
Exactly. Now, if you find that tender spot and it's just too tender to work on, work the muscle above or below it and
Yeah, work around it.
Exactly. You can do that 2 to 3 times per day over a number of days, and that will. We've had great success with the cross friction massage. Now, the thing about cross friction massage is the groin muscles are typically large muscle mass.
Fairly heavy muscles.
Your fingers get sore. Bob, the option that you have is a massage gun if you have one. They work really well for getting in muscles like this to do the cross friction massage.
And if you don't have one, by the way, this happens to be our giveaway this week, a Bob and Brad massage gun. So you can, again, sign up for the contest and hopefully you'll win one.
Yeah, they're great. They even have our name on it. You can see now I have an orange piece of tape on this head. This head is designed to get in a little deeper, which is what I want. And also the orange is there so you can see it against my my black clothing. There we go.
Look how that thing started percussing.
Yep. And then you can just, the goal is to relax that leg. I'm going to hold my leg here with my left hand so I get relaxed muscles. And when I can work it across like this. And you can, now there is one, I did have one instance where I was instructed, I continued ed, where you couldn't go with the muscle fibers, but typically we say go across the muscle fibers. I'm telling you what, your fingers will not get near sore, and you can do this for as long as you want.
Yeah, you can do it while you're watching TV. I mean, it's a very easy thing to apply.
And you can use it on any muscle group across your whole body.
That first one Brad had actually is kind of more like an air-filled head, so it's a lot more comfortable. You can actually even go over bones and it won't hurt.
I might start with this one and get to this one as it gets more aggressive with this particular injury. And then we want to get into stretching. Now, a common stretch with this is simply the clamshell, where you bring your feet together, you're lying on your back. I got it right?
Yeah,
lying on your back.
Yeah, very good.
And just allow those legs to relax and stretch. You might find if this is a painful one, it can get out to here where this one get to here, and then you just work it gently.
Yeah, let it allow you to have what it'll give you.
Right. Now, the other thing we did not have on the previous video that I've really learned to appreciate and use a lot, can you hand me the strap,
Sure.
Bob? These straps are really handy for stretching, particularly this muscle I've found. This is actually, I've used a number of them. This is my favorite strap because it's got these nice loops. I like the color. It's very smooth and it goes across your clothing. It slips easily. So we actually have our name on this. If you want a Bob and Brad strap, you can get that below as well.
I don't know when that's available.
Oh, well, it's coming out pretty soon. In October of this year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this around my foot. And actually, I'll do it on my left leg is actually the one that has been bothering me. It's doing pretty good now. But what I'll do is I'll start like this, and I'm going to put my hand right through here, and I don't even have to grip. It just locks into my wrist. I'll start out with doing the hamstrings. Now, to get those adductor muscles from this angle, I simply go off to the side, and boy, it works great, Bob.
Wow.
When I first started this, I was doing this very gingerly. It's like gentle, gentle.
I can see this.
Yep,
I can.
absolutely. And then I would work over farther. I couldn't do
Holy
this.
cow.
Oh yeah, Bob. Well, this would be great if you're
Wow.
in karate too. And then just hold
You
it.
got some flexibility there, Brad.
30 seconds at the most. On and off is what I typically do. Okay, and also I've learned to work this strap. You can simply put it around both feet, and then you can do an advanced clamshell where you pull up on your feet and you go like this. It works.
You're putting your elbows against it too to
Yep,
press down a little
elbows
bit.
here, little more. And those can be the stretches that you can do.
Very
Again,
creative, Brad.
oh,
I applaud you.
You can get so creative with simple little tools like this. You don't have to have fancy, expensive,
Equipment.
Little therapists and all that
Right,
stuff.
right. Who needs a therapist?
Exactly. For strengthening, the way you may start out is again go back to a squishy ball between the knees and squeeze. You may start out with some isometrics, holding to 6 to 8 seconds and relaxing. Do up to 5 to 10 of those. When you can do that without pain, you can progress to weight-bearing exercises. You're not going to go out there and work the karaoke really quick right away. It's not ready for you. A little strengthening. So we're going to use the resistance bands right here. And the best way we found for resistance strengthening of the hip adductor and weight-bearing is you take one of these little Velcro straps. If you have some bands, you can get these bands. They usually come in kits of 5.
We'll have a link below.
Yeah, we've got our own bands, Bob and Brad bands. We love them. You put this around your ankle, which I already did. And with the anchors on the wall, you don't have to have anchors. You can hook it up to...
You can hook it up to a door, too.
Yeah.
They all come with this door
Exactly.
inserts.
The anchors are much more convenient, but not necessary. You can see I can just put it on there easily. Hold on to something if you need balance. Now I'm working that adductor muscle right here. Now I'm going to do 10 to 20 of these depending on how it feels. When it starts to hurt, any sharp pain, it's done. You need to stop and give it a rest and wait for the next day. But the key is not just to do the injured leg, but you need to turn around, do it this direction as well to get the opposite muscle group, as well as the weight bearing. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to take the time to change the band, but you also want to put the band on the other leg,
sure.
So that the injured leg is the one that's not moving. It's the one that's experiencing the weight, which is critical.
So in other words, you'd hook it up to that leg, move that one, and this one would be working even though you're moving that one.
Right. Well, let's just say that.
Yeah. Let's say
this is my injured leg.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to work. Now my uninjured leg is working, but this muscle
has to work too.
Has to work just to maintain
stabilize.
You're right. A lot is going on just from weight bearing, which is critical. Oh,
all right.
Wow.
I think we figured that one out.
Yeah, I kind of stumbled to that. Sorry about that. It happens,
Right. Brad and I can fix just about anything.
But you're not sure, are you? We can get anything fixed but that broken heart.
But we'll work on it.
That's right. And the groin pull doesn't have a lot to do with that broken heart. But we'll get closer.
We'll get to it. Thanks for watching.